Okay, we've been given the absorption spectra for 4 different galaxies, A, B, C and D, right? And we have to say which galaxy is the furthest away from us. Okay, so this is the wavelength of light. They've shown it from about 390 to 750 nanometers. That's more or less the visible range for the human eye. We can see from about 390 to 700 nanometers, okay? Light in about this wavelength region we see as blue. In the middle we see as green, and at this region we see as red, okay? But there is overlap. So the source from the lab, that's why I've drawn these bands here in blue, the ones in the middle in green and this one in red, okay? Because that's more or less how we'd see it. So as they've been redshifted, I realise that the thick band, for example, has been, for C, has been shifted well into the green region, but I've drawn it as blue. We would see it as green, probably. Don't worry about that. I've drawn all of these in the same colours as their corresponding one in the lab, just to show which ones correspond to which, to make it easier to pick up. The lab colours, we'd probably see these as blue, these as green, and that one as red, okay? But don't worry too much about the colours of these. Right, it's not important. Okay, right, what's the question on about again? Which galaxy is the furthest away from us? 3 marks. Okay. First mark. Galaxy C has clearly been redshifted the most, okay? Look at the thick band. They've given us a nice thick band so we can pick it out easily. This one has been moved over, redshifted the most. And you see these two correspond to these two to these two. Okay, so C has been redshifted the most. Okay, 1 mark. Next, you say therefore C is moving the fastest, or has the greatest speed. Okay, 2 marks. Now, the faster a galaxy moves, the further away it is. The greater the distance. Okay, therefore, Galaxy C is the furthest away. Okay, 3 marks. Now, this is a good example of how we should answer exam questions, okay? Lay it out in an orderly fashion, okay? Say what you know. It's obvious that C is redshifted the most, so say that. Therefore, C is moving the fastest. Now, the faster a galaxy moves, the further away it is. Therefore, C is furthest away. That's how you should try and answer exam questions. A nice sequence, order of events. It helps the examiner. It helps him like you. He's more inclined to give you the full marks. Okay? Right. Good. Okay, part 2. We're told that the reference wavelength is 390 nanometers. Okay? So that is the reference wavelength, this thick line on 390 nanometers. Reference wavelength is depicted by lambda naught. Okay? We have to estimate the change in the reference wavelength for galaxy D. Okay, so this one. Right. I've drawn this as accurately as I could by hand from the question paper, but it's not perfect. If you look at your question paper, go by that, not this, okay? This line here, the thick line, the reference wavelength, has moved to about 410 on your question paper, okay? So therefore, delta lambda, the change in the reference wavelength, is about 20 nanometers. Okay? Again, just to reiterate, I didn't draw this brilliantly accurately, but on your question sheet, that point there is about 410. Okay, so the change, delta lambda, is about 20 nanometers. Okay, good. Now, you have to calculate the speed of galaxy V, and they tell you the equation, so that's nice of them. The equation V is c, which is the speed of light, times delta lambda divided by lambda naught. Okay, pretty straightforward. Stick in the numbers. They tell you that the speed, they want you to use 3 times 10 to the 8 as the speed of light, which it is. Okay, so therefore V equals C is 3 times 10 to the 8. Delta lambda is 20 nanometers. That's on top, so times 20. Nanometers, 10 to the minus 9. It's 10 to the minus 9. Okay, divided by lambda naught, which is 390 nanometers, 10 to the minus 9. Okay, that's it. Stick it in your calculator and you get, just a little tip, you've got times 10 to the minus 9 on the top and times 10 to the minus 9 on the bottom. So you can cancel them if you like. You can just put that into your calculator. You can even cancel those zeros if you want. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. Anyway, stick it in and you get 1538 4615.38 meters per second. Okay, you can write meters per second as meters per second or meters per second, same thing. It's up to you. Okay, that's the correct answer, but it's a bit ugly. I wouldn't leave it like that. I think a nice way to present the answer would be, let's see how many decimal places this has been moved. So let's say 1.5 times 10 to the something. Okay, so we're going to move the decimal place to there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meters per second. Okay, that's just a much neater way, a sensible choice to present the answer. Okay, 1.5 times 10 to the 7 meters per second. Okay, part B. We have a photo of a galaxy that a student has taken. So I've got a galaxy looking all spinny like that somehow. Okay, and oh, this is galaxy D apparently. Right, state 2 ways the student can improve the observational techniques so that the quality of the image is improved. 2 marks. Okay, question about photography. So 2 marks, any 2 of the following. You could say a longer exposure time. Okay, you could say take the photo away from light pollution, or no light pollution. Okay, so go into the country, choose a dark night, go up a mountain. Also, going up a mountain places less of the atmosphere in between the telescope and the galaxy. That's why the Hubble Space Telescope, which is in space, takes better photos, because the light from the galaxy goes straight into the telescope. It doesn't have to go through 100 kilometers or so of the Earth's atmosphere before reaching a telescope. Okay, you can say use a better quality objective lens. So a better objective lens. You can say use a wider aperture camera or telescope. Okay, so any two of those. Looking at the mark scheme, they also allow you to say use a satellite telescope. Apparently that will get you the mark for this student taking a photo. Right. I don't know how a student's going to get hold of a satellite telescope, hack into the Pentagon or something, but there you go. Like hack into it and turn it on to himself and take a satellite selfie, eating his lunch. Don't write that in the exam.